In this session, we are going to do the part two of what we started so far. We started with unit conversion, right? Where we look at how it relates to mathematics, the mathematics behind it, and we were able to cover some few examples in the previous session. So in this session, we are going to do part two, right? The part two involves how to just convert from a unit that is having a prefix to a unit that is not having a prefix. That's the opposite of the previous session where we look at a unit that is not having a prefix to a unit that is having a prefix. For prefix, we have a video for that. If you don't understand what we mean, we have a video on prefixes and that. Look through our playlist and then go to prefix and understand what prefix is. We took our time to explain that before we start unit conversion. And we understood that in unit conversion, the basic thing that's actually changing is just the prefixes are changing, right? So in the part one, we look at how to convert from a unit that is not having a prefix to a unit that is having a prefix inside. Now we are going to do the reverse, but we are going to look at how to convert from a unit that is having a prefix to a unit that is not having a prefix. Yeah, so let's get into that. Let's see what that entails. So we are going to do that using examples. Right? So through the examples, we build the concept, and through the concept, you're able to make your personal note, and then you'll be able to cover unit conversion quickly and easily. Right? So I'm going to use an example. My common example is 2 meters, right? This day I'm going to use 2 kilometers. So I'm going to use kilometers. So my pen, yeah, so 2 kilometers. So we are going to convert it to something in meters. So meaning we are not going to have the prefix attached to it, right? So to something simple like that, just the meters, just the unit name. Or let's say 1.3 microgram to something that is in just grams. Or 5 megajoules, right? To something that is just in joules. Joules. Yes. So these are the few examples that we are going to tackle. Let's add a fourth one so that let's say 0.4, right? What should we use? What should we use? We have to use micro, I use mega, then let's use another milli, yeah, millinewton, yeah, millinewton. Then we convert to something that is just in Newton, right? This is the part two of it, right? I hope you can see the trend of what we mean by removing the prefix, right? Yeah. So we are doing, the first example is going to 2 kilometers. So we are converting 2 kilometers to something that is in meters, right? So where we are basically just going to remove the k. So this guy is going to remove the k, right? But k is kilo, and kilo prefix, right? As a prefix in decimal component is what 10 to the power 3, right? It's from the previous prefix table, and we've covered that already. So what we do is that this one can be replaced by, so we just replace the, instead of using the k there, we just use 2 times 10 to the power 3. Then we put the meters, right? So the k, we just transform the k to its decimal component, and that decimal component is multiplying the number. But if it is in form of in form of a k or form of a prefix, it attaches to the name of the unit. But if you change it to the decimal component, you need to multiply the value. That's the difference. So yeah, so 2 kilometers is this, right? Basically, that's what you do, and this is a simple conversion, the simplest conversion you can ever have, right? So 2 kilometers, right? You just change the k, which is 10 to the power 3, to its decimal component. That's all. And at the end of the day, you see that the meter will remain like that. So if you like, so the answer is 2 times 10 to the power 3 meters. Or you can just use that to multiply the numbers. Then you have 2,000 meters. So no one will penalize you. But if you keep it in this form, it's correct. If you keep it in this form, it's also correct. But then for simplicity, we just keep it in this form, 2 times 10 to the power 3, to make it easier for us, right? Yeah. I'm going to use another the next example to do. That's how to simply just convert just change the prefix into its decimal component to multiply the number. That's what this whole thing is entails. So the next one is 1.3 microgram. If we are converting this into its a unit such that only the grams will be left, right? If the gram is going to be left, meaning you need to change this guy into the decimal component. And micro is 10 to the power negative 6. So if you do that, you are going to have 1.3 times 10 to the power negative 6. And grams alone will be there because we change its unit, its a prefix symbol to the decimal component, and the decimal component will not be associated with the magnitude. So this is the conversion. So that's how to convert from this form to the other one. Doesn't entail much. Now let's solve the other two examples as well. The next example is 5 megajoules, right? So if you go and understand of what we are doing for the previous one, we are just going to change the m. 5 times mega is what? 10 to the power 6. Yes. So megajoules, right? So we have joules. Right? This is a conversion. So basically, instead of having the m there, we just change the m to each decimal component and we have the joules there. Yeah. So let me keep that one and write the next one is 0.4 millinewton. So millinewton, right? If you convert that, you just change the milli to each decimal component. So decimal component of milli is what? 10 to the power negative 3. And you just keep the newton there. Yeah. This is how to do the part 2 of the unit conversion, right? The reverse is quite easy. So once you have the prefix there and you want to remove the prefix, what do? You just change it to the decimal component and that's it. Unlike the first one where you have to divide and make sure that the ratio also match, we took our time to also solve a lot of examples there. Go back and look through that and check this one too. Keep these two together so that we go and do the unit conversion part 3, where that will involve the conversion from a particular prefix to another that's having a prefix. That will be the part 3 of that. Keep in touch so that we go there and see how to do that in the next session.